Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of war game review institutions. This is Modern War Magazine number 35. The game inside is Mike Force from Joseph Miranda. I really like Vietnam games. Don't get me wrong, there's been plenty of Vietnam war games that weren't that good, but when you get one that is good, it's really good. So hopefully this turns out to be a good game. So let's take a look and see what's inside. I've always been interested in the Vietnam War. My dad was in Vietnam, so that's probably why it interests me. So let's take a look and see the rules here. Read some of the articles in the magazine. They were pretty good. All right, this looks like the game itself. All right, so that's first page. Looks like the game is 16 pages. See what's going on here. It starts with an intro just talking about how it's a solitaire special forces game. Now it's going over what the different values on the unit counters mean. And winning the game, there are two ways to win or lose the game: sudden death and endgame victory or loss. Sudden death occurs if at any time in the game either of the following conditions occurs. It's a sudden death communist victory if the communists control Da Nang. It's a free world victory if the communist infiltration level goes below 1. End the game victory is just victory points. And over here it's going over what you gain and lose victory points for. And let's go down to the sequence of play. Free world operations phase. Starts with the free world event phase, then free world recruiting, free world movement, free world recon, and then free world reaction phase, followed by the free world combat phase. And then we go to the communist phase, which looks like it's basically the same. It's got an event reinforcement activation, movement recon, and then a reaction phase, and then a combat phase. And then after all that, there's an end of turn phase, which is a return phase, where you return all the airstrikes and MACV support markers to their boxes. Big offensive burnout phase. If a communist big offensive was triggered, roll one die and deduct the result from the IP level. And then turn advancement phase. Let's see what else is in this rule set here. It's going over what the different spaces on the point-to-point map mean. Going over events, communist units, stacking. Looks like generally stacking is unlimited. Oh, this has coexistence too. Free world and communist forces can exist in the same space, and it usually triggers combat. Okay. It's going over fog of war and recon. Arc light bombardment, so you have B-52s in this. Communist anti-aircraft. And post-battle body count. You can get body count points, and you can lose them too. Going over helicopters, garrisons. And there's tactical break-off. And let's see how many scenarios here. 1, 2, 3, 4 scenarios. That's not bad for a magazine game. Let me check the combat rules here for a second. I just want to see if this has tactical edge like some of his mini games. Oh, here it is, ground combat 20.0. That's what I was looking for. It does have tactical superiority. That's cool. Alright, so it has some influences from some of his mini games. Let's take a look at the counters now. They look alright for the counters from a magazine game. Actually, the Mike Force counters look kind of cool with the skull and crossbones. It looks like it's got some independent characters here, like Colonel Blackjack. Cowboy, I'm not sure which cowboy they're talking about here. There was an Arvin pilot who was named Cowboy that was in Max Sog. Simon. And here's your arc light strikes. Interesting. And some of the unit counters have a second side. Very cool. Let's take a look at the map. The map is huge for this game, like most of the Modern War magazine games. Wow. Give me one sec to... Alright. Start on this part of the map. Down here it has a communist activations table. And down here it has a combat results table. And the combat results table kind of feels like the way you do combat results for a miniature game. Basically you have to roll under a combat factor and so forth. So it's not really a CRT. It's more of the way they do combat in the miniatures game, which is fine. Let's see what's over here. Over here we have communist reinforcements, communist reinforcement placement. Here's the terrain key. Terrain effects chart looks pretty detailed. It has the effects on movement and the effects on combat. Over here we have recruiting special forces units. And we have psychological warfare table, refitting special forces units. And over here, you can appeal to the 5th Special Forces Group Airborne. And here's your body count point chart. And over here, these are some kind of holding boxes. And over here, you put your recruit points, game turn record tracks. That's where you keep track of what the turn is. And you keep track of the communist infiltration level there. So you're going to want that as low as possible, I would assume. And then let's take a look at the point-to-point map itself. So there's not that many spaces. Interesting. Wonder if this has a bit of a states of siege theme to it. I don't know, that's just a guess. I haven't read the rules yet, but we will see. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please click like on it. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel. And as always, have a good evening.